Hey, what's up? It's Jim, and I just got back from the new film Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. Harry Potter has come back to Hogwarts to fight the final battle with the evil Voldemort. We pick up where Part 1 left off, and Harry continues to get all the Horcruxes to weaken Voldemort so he can kill him while Voldemort is taking over the world and Hogwarts as well. Part 2 feels more like the end of the movie, and Part 1 feels like the beginning. I'm sure together when they do a full cut of the whole thing, that movie will be pretty amazing. Cut into 2, I kind of prefer Part 1 personally to Part 2. I still really like Part 2. All the stuff with Snape and Alan Rickman was just really amazing. I mean, the whole Snape reveal I think may have been my favorite part of the whole film. I actually liked the 3D. I was kind of really down on seeing this film in 3D because none of them had been in 3D, but I thought the depth that they used in the film I really liked. I actually really enjoyed the 3D. I know some people aren't into that. That's fine. I don't think you have to see it in 3D. I felt like they used the 3D really well, and it's actually the best post-conversion 3D I've ever seen. The thing about 3D I never really liked is the glasses are always kind of bland, but they gave out these glasses, and you know, they're very light, and I actually quite like them. David Yates, you know, I like the past 3 films he's made in the Potter franchise. I look at his films more as producer-driven films than director-driven films. The films of Alfonso Cuarón and Mike Newell, and even Chris Columbus, I feel are more director-driven. I never got a real directorial stamp from him, and I'm kind of wondering if I've seen 3 David Yates movies post-Harry Potter, maybe I'll feel differently. I still feel like he's very much a studio director. I think he might be the best studio director we currently have, and I think he's a really good director at what he's trying to do. I just don't get a very aggressive voice from him. I get more of like kind of almost submissive to the franchise and what it's doing. He didn't really change anything the way Cuarón did or Mike Newell. I feel like all the previous 3 directors really changed stuff. David Yates kind of built upon what was already there, and maybe that's not such a bad thing. I like all sorts of directors, and I think David Yates, you know, I've really been down on him the entire time, but as I was watching it, I was like, you know what, he does do a pretty damn good job of making these Harry Potter movies. It was very exciting, it was very fun, and that's what I wanted in a Harry Potter movie, and that's kind of what this whole thing was about, you know? And I think there was one thing I remember. I was at a friend's house, and I had already seen Goblet of Fire, and this dad who was there was taking like a bunch of kids to Goblet of Fire. He goes, yeah, bring them all along. Let's all go see Goblet of Fire. And he kept calling kids, and he was like really excited, and they all left, and they're all like happy. That's one of the best things about the Potter movies. Is just like your parents want to see it, you want to see it. Let's get all your friends together. I like these movies. I really like these movies, you know, as someone who's been there for 10 years, and I even read the books before the first movie, but then I didn't get past the 3rd because I didn't want to ruin the movies, you know. I'm happy with the way it all turned out as a whole, and I'm happy with this movie. It's hard when you review this to not think about the franchise as a whole, because that's so much of what this movie's about. I had a good time, and I've had a good time these past 10 years, and it's always fun getting the latest one on DVD and watching it again, and watching it with friends, and watching with all the people I've watched these films with over the years. So if you have seen Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, comment below in the comments, and subscribe if you would like to. I guess the only part I didn't like, I thought the epilogue was rather lame. We could have just ended it, you know.